Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is DownBackInfinity's weekly wrap-up. I'm Jamie, the user Cats, and with me today is MC Squared.
Hey.
Travis.
Hello.
And Lincoln Lindo.
The beautiful Lincoln Lindo.
Oh, my apologies.
Don't get it twisted.
That remains to be seen. No, okay. So, let's get into some really nice news today. So my news is quick and easy. I'm going to get it out of the way. For those of you who don't know, Diablo 3 has entered into seasons. It's awesome. There's new gear. They patched the game. They made things cooler. I rolled a wizard and leveled up pretty quick. Diablo's fun again. And then, of course, like most of the time, it's going to probably fall off into obscurity pretty quickly as it gets pretty boring. Mm-hmm. But you never know. Gear drops are pretty high these days.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? None of you guys ever played Diablo 3, did you?
I have.
Did play it.
Nope.
Did play it when it initially came out.
Right, when it was Auction House Tycoon.
Right. And that wasn't even my biggest issue with it. It was just I was playing the monk, and I'm like, this is boring. Like, I didn't have to use my skills for anything because the game was incredibly easy. Mm-hmm. And the only argument I ever hear for this is, just wait, it gets hard. Fuck you, I'm not waiting.
No, the game is now as hard as you make it. So what happens is,
wait, the dragons will come. Just wait.
All throughout leveling up, the mobs now level up with you. And the difficulty is whatever you put it at. So if you're like, wow, this is silly easy, you can like jack up the difficulty. And it's no longer normal nightmare in hell mode. It's torment, master, expertise. And then like torment has like a range of 1 through 6. So like I'm on torment 1 and I'm having a pretty good time.
Yeah, I heard that you could actually change the difficulty off the hop now.
Yeah.
And people are raving about it. My friends have been playing.
Travis, what do you got for us this week?
All right. First and foremost, I just want to get this out of the way. The new Sherlock Holmes game has been announced. Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishment. It looks really cool. It's like LA Noir with a mix of Phoenix Wright with a mix of.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
it's really nice. It's really nice. I like how it's.
Wait. When you say you mean like how it plays? Yeah. Basically,
you have to collect the evidence, and then depending what evidence and type of conclusions you make yourself. You get different tasks that can lead to a part of, like you won't, like if you accuse somebody wrong, the game's gonna punish you, hence crimes and punishment. Like, you're not gonna I think Mrs. Vanderbilt killed Mr. Mustard with the candlestick.
But it's not Clue.
It's not
I was
Clue.
gonna say,
I know, but like if you make the wrong, like you can lead to different conclusions, but if you make the wrong assumption, the game's gonna punish you. Like, oh, that was actually, he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds pretty cool.
Leeway for failure.
By the way, you said new Sherlock Holmes game. I assume this is the first or real Sherlock Holmes game that isn't.
Yeah, it's like there was another.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine there were, but it's the first one that I've seen like on like a console like to this extent. It looks really nice. But
new gen for the new gen.
Next gen.
That's what I meant. Oh, that sounds totally cool. I'm down for that. I love games like Phoenix Wright, and I haven't played LA Noire. I have it.
It's not that.
I mean, who?
LA Noire got really bad.
What's not that great?
Okay.
It's cool.
LA Noire.
Okay, LA Noire is good, but I tell you,
it gets boring really fast.
Phoenix Wright is fire.
It's very repetitive.
No one's going to contest that Phoenix Wright is one of the greatest games of all time. Objection.
It's excellent.
Because I'm off track. I just wanted to mention that. My news actually stems from something that, free-to-play has been getting a lot of, hiss in here from, the former EA CEO chimed in about free-to-play games, oh, it's not so bad, and, please, no. But then, more importantly, Peter Molyneux has stepped up and said, hey, you know what?
Oh, really?
Free-to-play games, really cool, and we need more real developers. Come into it. True game developers to help boost
what,
its
is that like a stab?
It feels like a stab.
Yes.
It really
would do that.
What are they talking about? Do you mean the guys who, because real, quote unquote, game developers, traditionally speaking, have been all about the monies. That's how they became real, because they made lots of the monies. So free to play kind of sounds out of their element.
And what I actually want to know exactly what he means by, and it's not real, it's like, if I wanted to quote it, true, but this could change if true game designers started making free-to-play titles.
Oh, boy.
So I'm, again, coming from Peter Molyneux, who, if I remember, his most recent hit on the scene is Goddess, and my God, Goddess is not
What?
Goddess.
What is
It's a
Goddess?
game?
Yes, Goddess. It is on. If you don't know, here's a quick wrap up. Goddess is supposedly started off as a free to play whatever title. It's on Steam right now for early access. It's supposed to be a god game, much like Black and White. And I'm trying to remember the name of the first one. It's like a spiritual successor of it. It's Poly something. I can't remember.
Black and White was a really, really fun game.
But anyways, so it's supposed to be in the terms of god games like that, but it didn't. It has extremely negative reviews solely because of the gameplay elements, and also it's not entirely free to play. In fact, he's come later on to coin, and this is a good coin, invest to play, where basically you put money into the game to actually have some sort of progression.
That's not free to play.
That's not free to play at all.
No.
But he's come out recently to say that free to play games are awesome, and that it's run by literally, his quote, match 3 games and casino games.
What?
Free to play is nothing but match 3s and casino. If you don't know what match 3, I had to Google it myself. I had to find out what it means. That's basically Bejeweled, Tetris, Bubble Bomb. So
he's ignoring, like Smite and
Terra Online, Vindictus, DC,
Tribes.
Okay. We can literally
Path of Exile. That's a great one.
We can. As much as I agree where he says that free to play is not. It's flawed. It has issues, and I can list a number of games that are flawed. I can list just as many great games that are out there that are free to play, made by real developers. So I don't know where Peter Molyneux. Peter Molyneux's always been about talking big and saying a lot of just rambunk.
But he legitimately does think like free to play can be good, even though he's being like,
it is good.
I'm not gonna condescending.
I understand.
Condescending
I
is
really
right.
respected Peter Molyneux up until this direct quote.
Actually, I respected Peter Molyneux, until he left Fable, and then he started saying and doing really weird stuff, and I was like,
I will always love the Fable games, and I like Peter Molyneux up till just now. Up to I never knew about Goddess until I researched more about Goddess, and then I saw exactly what Goddess is, and then he he's into free to play games, so that's cool, and I would like more developers coming into it, but no classifying on what's real, what's fake. There are some bad developers out there. There's some good developers out there, but all of them are developers.
The news I have is pretty cool. I mean, not really. It's kind of bad, but it's pretty cool because when you do bad things in the gaming industry, bad things should happen to you. And this is the first time we've really seen such a reprieve or a return. But anyways, Japan got the official release for the Xbox One. And no one waited in line.
Not sure about that.
No, it was pretty much no
true.
one. It was like
Japan hate Xbox. That is known. They don't give a fuck.
actually, Carty Lincoln, 360.
Yes.
Right. Sorry. The 360 sells extremely poorly over there, and they are not big fans of it. So I would not be surprised if when they release Xbox One, Japan was collectively like.
I would say they collectively did that simply because of Sony just kicking ass at E3 and just really bringing it.
Okay, wait a sec. Full stop. There's actually a picture that's posted in that exact thread right after. It's like, and there's 8 people lined up. So, all 8 of those Japanese guys were waiting.
Those guys are from America. They were just visiting Japan. I want to get back now.
But the fact that no one really went and cared, probably were not even buying it. It's like, ooh, you just wasted a lot of money to ship how many units over there, and then no one's buying it. It's kind of
I mean, why didn't they expect it? Their Xbox 360 did extremely poorly. I don't know why they expected otherwise.
Sony has always outclassed every console in sales by a country mile. There's 22 million PS3s sold compared to only a couple million 360s and stuff. It makes complete sense to me.
And you gotta admit that Sony's had a dead grip over advertising in Japan for years.
They just make a better console as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I don't want to be insulting, but like the PS3 was the console that could do everything, and they last. I still have a PlayStation 3, and it's an original big honking PS. It hasn't broken down. It hasn't broken down.
And you know, the only PS3s that actually broke down were the ones that had, the single lens to read PS2 and like DVDs and Blu-ray, and it was not functional all the time. That was the yellow of death. It was the lens. So the new ones that have, two lenses, one to read DVDs, one to read Blu-rays, they never break down.
My news has to do with a thing called #Gamergate, and let me say this first. It's an extension, kind of what happened with Zoe Quinn. People, if you've ever listening or listening to us on a pre-recording, if you haven't listened to a previous podcast, there was a thing about Zoe Quinn and her using her
sucking dick to get to the top.
Exactly. I was trying to say it more eloquently, and you're just like, look.
Here's the thing. That's her actions are not what's bad. It's that the actual game review authors and companies compromise their integrity because of it, and that's what's bad.
Exactly, and that's why this is an extension of this. What #Gamergate is, and you can look it up on Twitter, it's blowing up, is supposed to be kind of a movement of gamers against corrupt gaming journalism and in the gaming industry, nepotism and people using their positions and people who work for certain review sites and whatnot, boosting stuff for their friends and self-connections. However, it has gotten incredibly out of hand, or it's never been in hand, because it was kind of related to the Zoe Quinn thing, which was, again, kind of corrupt journalism, in quotes.
Pretty much.
Feminist movements, people like Zoe Quinn and Sarkeesian, blah, blah, are claiming that Gamergate is in fact not about corrupt journalism, but as a mask for misogyny and gamers.
Oh, everything's a mask for misogyny to those people.
Hold on, right? And so it's really blowing up, and now they're asking like internet celebrities probably to take certain sides. Like, are you with it? Which is really sad, because it's really just supposed to be about corrupt game journalism, not feminism
I have a lot to say.
and hating on it. Yeah, don't worry, I'll finish. And it got really bad because it was like TB on the Zoe Quinn thing, Total Biscuit, for those who don't know, took a fairly neutral stance, and then Phil Fish, creator of Fez, called him a gross nerd. Tweety is a gross nerd.
To do with anything.
And the point is, it escalated, and then Phil Fish got hacked, and then another site got hacked, and now it's this big Gamergate is about corrupt journalism. You guys are crying it's about feminism. They're like, no, it is about feminism. You're using it as a veil. This is bullshit. And don't get me wrong, I've looked at a lot of the tweets of what's happening. Some people are using it to be like, fuck, like, it's very obvious that they have some closet thing against women or whatever, and violence against them and whatnot, and try to be like, we want to make games, however, we don't have to be overrepresented, blah 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 blah. And it is going off right now. It's quite huge.
Okay. I'm gonna draw first blood on this one.
Oh,
go for it.
Draw first blood.
First things first. Anita Sarkeesian doesn't get an opinion about anything. For anyone who's ever watched a single one of her videos, they have zero merit whatsoever, because they're not about equality. They're about women and how they're victims in games. But if you look at the flip side of that, and you look at oh yeah, guys get gunned down like they're faceless nothings all the time. That's what video games are. And then, oh no, a woman can be attacked or made an object. I don't know. She doesn't get an opinion. If you really want a fantastic deconstruction of it, just look up Thunderfoot Anita Sarkeesian, and he does an adequate job in one video, but he spends 3 just completely tarring everything she ever put out. But as far as the game review process and where it I don't check GameSpot, I don't check all these people who write articles on things. I go to one site and one site only. And it's Metacritic. And it's because it's not professionals writing reviews. It's just it's the Rotten Tomatoes of games.
Gaming? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Right? Like, that's, gamers can say all they want. Oh, hashtag, what is it called? Hashtag
Gamergate?
Gamergate? Gamergate. Yeah, like gamer and a gate. Something keeps you out, a gate.
Yeah.
GATE.
Yeah. We just have a user review site where people, make their own reviews and, make sure it's, what's the word? Vigilant of flooding from corporate whatever. Because, I mean, like, if the gaming companies learn from this, they're going to be like, oh, man, we want our game to do well. Dispatch our army of prostitutes to love up those game reviewing nerds to give them fantastic reviews. Right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to add, a big point of the Gamergate is that now the feminists are being bullies to gamers because a lot of them are calling them, neckbeards, basement dwellers. Basically, a lot of gamers are being called names and stuff, and they're like, oh, now harassment's okay when you're harassing us, huh? Well, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, well, there's always been a tenuous connection between the gaming community and women, because gamers, by and large, are antisocial, skinny, poor in hygiene, and lack social skills.
Pretty sure everyone here is opposite.
Debatable
traits to have, right? So, like, gamers, by and large, don't do well with women. And women, by and large, don't really like being around gamers. And so...
In the past. I don't think that's...
Yeah, okay.
I think that's how it is now.
And we're in the transition, like, even right now, we're still in the transition of black people being more accepted. So we're still in the accession of... in the same reigns of girls getting better in terms of, like, in the gaming areas. Yeah. It's still... It's some transition. It's going to be wrong.
Dominated art form.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, and they're claiming, because obviously this always comes up when it's white straight males are the bad guys in their mind. I'm not saying they are, right? And there's but thankfully there are people coming out being like who aren't white straight males saying like it's called hashtag not your shield, and they're like, stop using me, I'm a Asian gay unicorn, whatever the fuck, gamer, and like I don't feel prosecuted against, not your shield, don't use me for that for that purpose.
Definitely. I think that the best way to go about doing this is to ignore those people. Literally, do not pay. If people are trying to broadcast something, and all they're doing is trying to gain traction through any type of attention, right? Like, there's no such thing as bad press, because it's attention nonetheless, and you gain traction one way or the other as a public figure. Just like the Sarah Palin fiasco, right? Sarah Palin, like, by and large, I mean, I don't want to start ripping on Sarah Palin. Not because she's a woman. It was more to do with the fact that a lot of stupid shit came out of her mouth. But as soon as you start publicizing it and broadcasting it, that